Welcome back to another episode of the Indiana Steel expansion franchise. So today we're just gonna run into the resign phase. Um, so because we added an extra contract here, there's not gonna be much for us to do. And then from there, hopefully set up our line, see if there's any free agents that we want to add. There won't be that many. Kind of fill out the AHL team, and then jump into the first preseason game and see how this team does. So I'm going to advance data the resign phase. So I currently don't have any players who are about to become restricted free agents, so we'll be able to skip this week. I'm just going to go in and double check, make sure. You never know with this game, it might lie to us. All right, so we don't have any RFAs, so restricted free agents to sign. But we do have all of our draft picks that need to be signed. So let's start with that. There's also Oliver Moore that we picked up in the expansion draft that didn't have a contract either. So let's go through that, give them all a contract, and then move on from there. So let's start with Jackson Culp, our first overall pick. So let's give him his entry contract. So he'll get back to us. Then there was Crab as well. I'm going to see if he takes 25 less, seeing as he's a low elite. Oliver Moore as well. And now we have our bottom six in Alex Blais. We have the other bottom six in Valesi. And there's Kimo Gruber. And our last one. All right, here we go. We have all these players with a contract offer. I'll just confirm that there's nothing else in the goalies. So we already have 6 goalies. Radulov's a fringe starter, so I might wait till next year to give him his entry level contract. I don't think I want to do that just yet. Worst case, if we trade away some goalies, I can add him in later on. So we'll advance day. So Oliver Moore accepted, Kimo Gruber accepted, Alex Blais accepted, Helmer Steve accepted, Lance Crab, Jackson Culp, Brian Valesi, and here we go. Let's just confirm that there's nobody left. Okay, everybody with a contract. So let's sim to free agency. Okay, so we currently have 34 contracts. We're going to need to add a few. But with the extra contract year that I added, it doesn't leave us very many options in free agency. All right, so right now at center, we currently have 4 centers. In the system, we have 6 centers as well. So I think we're good here in terms of centermen. Left wing, so we've got 4 here. We also have Jackson Culp, which I'm most likely going to call up. So it looks like we don't really have any left wingers in the AHL. Now we have 3 right wings with a couple here down in the AHL. Defenseman. So it looks like we need a few defensemen as well. Oops. All right, so we'll jump into free agency. See what's available to us. I will sort by overall. And I also don't want to sign any RFAs. I don't want to give up any picks. So let's start by looking what's available in the UFA category, so the unrestricted free agents. And I'm just going to sign some AHL players just to fill up the roster. So I'll do that and then jump right back in. All right. So I went through the free agency, offered some contracts to a few players that we can put into our AHL team. And I also went over our scouts. So basically, just assigned a contract to all the scouts that we wanted. I fired everybody that would that was basically below a C overall because we were able to replace them with better scouts. So now we're just gonna advance day and see who accepts, who declines, and basically see if we need to send out another contract offer. So advance 1 day, 2 days. So here we go. This is one of the scouts, Avery Day. Another scout. Another scout. So I think I sent out 10 scout contracts, so there's going to be quite a bit of these right now. I just want to see if there's anybody that declines. Okay, so far so good. Another scout. All right, so here we go. So this is one of the first players. So it's all young prospects. I tried to go 22 or below with basically medium to high potential, and just see maybe hopefully they'll grow this year, next year, and we will be able to keep them around. But right now I'm basically just filling out the AHL roster because we don't have enough players. So that's 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's a goalie that I went after. There was already 4 other teams interested, so it kind of makes sense that he didn't go with us. It was kind of a long shot, but I'm not going to go back and get another goalie. I don't think it's needed right now. All right, so here's another player. All right, so let me just make sure we don't have any other contracts pending. Okay, so all the contracts that I sent out got accepted. So now we have 45 contracts on the team, and we'll be able to build out an NHL and AHL team from that. There's just one thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to check out some trades that maybe we can do, recoup some assets. So right now we have way too many goalies. So I just wanted to go through. I went through already and kind of looked around and see what was available. Nobody wants Samsonov. Nobody wants Thompson. But there is offers for Joel Hofer. And right now we have Spencer Knight ahead of him and Dustin Wolf with a better potential rating. So I think I'm going to try to move Hofer for some assets and see what sticks. So I'm going to add him and find a trade. So right now we have Boston's 2025 third round pick, Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Vegas Golden Knights. So I don't want to trade him away into a Western team. I don't want to end up having to face him a lot throughout this expansion franchise. So I'm going to try to trade him to an Eastern team. So really out of all this, it's basically just a pick 'em. I think Boston and Florida are going to be playing better than Tampa next year. So I'm going to go ahead and trade with Tampa, and hopefully that gives us a higher third round pick than the other two. There we go. So we cleared up a little bit of space here in this log jam of goalies that we have. And now I'm just going to sim right up until the start of the season, and we'll get our line settled. So we do have a trade offer coming in. Let's take a look and see if it kind of makes sense. Right now we have a lot of defensemen, so it makes sense to get rid of one for a forward. So let's just take a look. So the New York Rangers are offering us an 18-year-old Gabriel Perreault, 73 overall, top 6 medium. So he could be a top 6 forward down the line. He does have an X factor. So make it snappy. So great snapshot and stride. So that's going to be very helpful for this team moving forward. I don't have any complaints about this player. He's got okay speed for a 73 overall, so I think that will progress quite nicely as he grows. And for Jacob Middleton, who's one of our older defensemen, defensive defenseman. And then they want a 5th round pick for next year as well to kind of even out the trade. Let's just confirm that that's the defenseman we want to give up. So Miller and Gerard probably our top pair. Cam York. Cam York and Barry on our second pair. And then if we get rid of Middleton, it opens up the door for Romanov, Joseph, Valimaki, or D'Angelo. Yeah, I think I like this trade. I'm going to accept it. So welcome to the team, Gabriel Perrault. And another trade offer come in. So D'Angelo, another one of our older defensemen. Let's see what they're sending back in return. So Vancouver is offering Ludwig Seidenberg, an 18-year-old, another top 6. He's 66 overall. A sniper this time. That's another potentially good trade. I don't know if I want to do the 3rd round swap right now. Let's see if they'll accept if we give them a 4th round. So D'Angelo in a 4th round for Seidenberg in a 3rd. Okay, so they still want a 3rd round. Do they want next year's 3rd? So if we give them Tampa Bay's 3rd round pick from next year that we got in the Hofer trade. This one also declined. Let's try our pick. All right, so this one went through. All right, so now that we finished all the offseason with the free agency and the staff, we can get started with the preseason. One thing I want to do before we actually jump into the preseason is take one more look to see if anybody wants Samsonov. We still have one too many goalies, and it's really going to affect Spencer Knight and Dustin Wolf in the AHL if Samsonov is there as the starter. So let's go find a trade. So Chicago's offering a 3rd and a 6th. Montreal's offering 2 4ths. Then Seattle is offering Tatar in a 4th, Brendan Tanev in a 4th, Schwartz, and Wenberg. So Seattle seems to really want Samsonov. But like I said earlier, I'm not sure I want to trade pretty good goalies into the Western Conference. Right now, I don't know if I want to take on these contracts. It might just be pieces that we end up trading anyways. So I think I might just go with Montreal, take the 2 4th round picks. It might be some trade bait that we can use later on, and kind of move up if we need to move up at the draft. So I'll accept Montreal and say goodbye to Samsonov. We'll go to edit lines. So let's move Spencer Knight as the starter. Throw in Dustin Wolf as the backup. So we finally have our goalie logjam figured out. And while we're here, let's take a look at the lines. So we have basically this whole team is filled up with prospects I picked up off free agency. But our main guys that we want to keep an eye on is Ridley Gregg, Jacob Perreault, Helmer Stiff, Lance Crabb, and Brian Valesi. If we look at our defense, we have Harley and Baudouin, Samarukov, and Kevin Ball, and then these two are kind of just extras. Let me just move this around real quick to see if we can remove these minuses. Okay, it looks like our last pair is going to be a -3, but that's okay. And now for the NHL team, our first line is going to look like this. So we're going to have Jack Quinn on the wing with Kuznetsov and Niederreiter. Second line will be Anderson with Granlund and our top pick, Jackson Culp. And then Rasmussen, Teddy Bluger, and Kaliev on the third line. And then our fourth line with Tanner Janot, Jack Roslovic, and Sam Gagner. On defense, we're looking at Miller and Barry, Romanov and Gerard, Cam York, and P.O. Joseph to round it off. So right now our scratch players is Phil Kessel. I basically just got Phil Kessel in case somebody got hurt. I can just plug him in and kind of move things around that way. And then we also have Valimaki on the back end. For our goalies, we have Swayman as our starter, and backing him up will be Logan Thompson. All right, so I'm going to sim through a few games in the preseason. I want to jump into one away game and one home game just so we can take a look at the jerseys and how the team looks. So I'll sim up to the Chicago game. So our team's not doing too bad. Keep in mind it's the preseason, so they're trying out their young stars. So win against the Stars, shootout loss against the Preds, and a win against the Jets. So now against Chicago, I'll sim the majority of the game and just jump in the last couple minutes just to take a look at the jerseys. So let's skip this first period. So after one period, it's 2-1 for Chicago. Jack Quinn with the first goal in the franchise history, but it won't count for the record books because it is preseason. Simming the next period, Jackson Culp got a pair of goals, a power play goal, and a 5-on-5 goal. Connor Bedard joined the party as well with Tyler Radish and Niederreiter as well. So our power play seems to be clicking with 2 power play goals, so that's promising. So now let's advance this third period, and I'll jump in with about 2.5 minutes left just to make sure we don't waste too much time in these preseason games. So 5-4 for Chicago right now. All right, 2.5 minutes left. I'll jump in. Let's try to go get this goal, tie it up, and go into overtime. Here we go. We won the face-off against Bedard. Miller's having a hard time getting the puck out. Let's move it up to Quinn, squeeze along the boards. Big hit on Bedard. And there we go. Let's go on the power play. Actually, Connor Bedard taking the trip. Teddy Bluger tried putting it in. Niederreiter gets his shot blocked. Pass it back across. Try to screen the goalie. Niederreiter squeaks through. Pass it back to the point. Across the other side. Alright, here we come with Bluger. Pass it across. Oh, Culp got robbed by Mrazek. Alright, Kuznetsov, let's bring it up. Pass it across. Got bumped off the puck. Let's pass it up, pull the goalie. Gagne with the last ditch attempt. And there we go. Chicago runs away with the win. Fortunately, we couldn't come back, but we saw some good stuff from the team. The prospects put up some goals, so that's nice to see. Now we'll sim up to the Colorado Avalanche. All right, so we'll sim the first period. So Colorado gets the one in. We tied it up, so Girard. And same thing, we'll simulate until there's about 2.5 minutes left, jump into the game, see how the team looks in the home jerseys. All right, so power play for Colorado, couldn't pull anything. Here we go, 1.5 minutes left. It looks like this game's gonna go to overtime. All right, here we go. So 2 minutes left. Georgiev with the save. Let's put the first line on, see if we can get anything going. Shot from the point. Quinn with the rebound. Georgiev with the save. There we go, a score. Tyson Barrie from the point. Pretty sure this was, oh no, I thought it was his second goal of the game, but it doesn't look like it. Handcuff Georgiev, beat him blocker side.
He got a good chunk of it, but he didn't get it all.
There we go. Now let's try to hold the lead, get the win to finish off preseason. And Josh Anderson seals it for us with the empty net goal.
That's a strong effort all the way around. Stingy defensively at the end of the game, and they're able to get that empty netter, and it's the dying minutes here, James.
So we got the insurance goal. Let's go close this out. All right, so we finished off the preseason with a win. So we went 5-1-1. So that's a pretty good record for us. Jackson Culp living up to the hype. 6 goals, 1 assist, 7 points in 7 games played. So the number 1 overall pick is playing like a number 1 overall pick. Okay, so I want to go into scouting. I'm not going to show this every time I do it. I might just mention it. It takes a lot of time to do, so I'm not going to film it every time, but I'm just going to film a little bit of the process, kind of show you what I do when it comes to scouting. So as you can see right now, all we have is amateur scouts. I didn't sign any pro scouts. We don't need that. We don't have fog of war. So basically everybody's overall is always available, whether it's NHL or AHL. But for the draft, we need to scout. So the way I do it is I select the scout, do scout specific players, and then I go in this list here and basically just click on potential in comparison and just give that to all the players in the list. So I do that. So I basically just follow the date at the bottom below the list. So right now it says estimated date November 19th. I'm going to do this until middle of December. So once I get to middle of December, I'm going to stop. So here we go, December 15th. So this is the list of players that this scout is going to go scout. And make sure to confirm the assignment before you back out, because if you back out, you're going to lose everything. So confirm assignment. And then I basically do the same thing with everybody else. But for leagues where we have 2 scouts in, because there's a lot of players to scout, what you can do is you can jump in here, scout specific players. Again, the same thing is going to be potential in comparison. And just go through and add it until middle of December. So as I see here, this one goes to December 20th. That's a little bit too far for me. I'd rather finish on December 13th. So now we'll remember that number 148, Enlund, that's where the other scout will pick up. So we'll confirm this assignment. Go to the other scout. We'll go down to Enlund. Same thing, potential in comparison, and keep adding them until we get to the middle of December. So right here, December 16th, it's a day over, but December 8th is too far, so let's do that. So now I'm going to confirm this assignment. And basically all I do is I go through every single scout and do that for every single one. So let me do that and I'll be right back as soon as I'm done. I just finished going through all the scouts, so I added everybody that I can add up until December 16th, which is the cutoff. And now normally what I would do is I would go into the calendar and I would basically sim play / play the games up until December 16th. Right here, and then at that point on December 16th, I would take a pause. We'll go back into the scouting, readjust, send them out again on a different scouting assignment, and basically do that 3 or 4 times throughout the season. So at that point, when we get to the actual draft at the end of the year, we have as much information as possible, and then we'll be able to have accurate decisions on what we want and who we want to pick. So for now, I think I'm going to cut it off here. In the next episode, we'll pick it back up. The way I think I'm going to do this is I'm going to sim the majority of the games. The only time we'll jump in is if the game goes to overtime. So if the game goes to overtime, we'll play the overtimes and the shootout, and then go from there. So it'll get us a bit of gameplay, but not a ton, and we'll be able to go through this season pretty quick. So I'm hoping that next video we can get through at least half the season, and then in the video after that jump into the trade deadline. So once again, thanks for watching this brand new series, and hopefully you like it and you'll join along. If you have any ideas on anybody we should move, anybody we should target, anybody you think would fit this team, let me know. Comment down below, and see you next time.